Hello, so today we will be analyzing round 3 of the Metro Summer Chess Bonanza. I'm playing with Black, and this is the last round for the day. So, my opponent goes for e4, and I go for c5, known as a Sicilian defense, and here my opponent goes for the Alpine with c3. I go for knight to f6, pressuring the pawn over here, essentially saying that if you go here now, then I just take. So, here they go for e5, which is one of the most common moves. And oh, here I go for knight to d5, centralizing the knight. And here they go for d4, following their usual Alpin setup here, with an idea that after takes, which is what happens in the game, they're gonna have a center. So what I do here is I pressure the center. This is the main idea of how I play against Alpin, with this opening here where I play d6 basically, and if you take, then I just take the queen, develop it. So the idea is to pressure this center here, because the Alapin, they have a center, so why not pressure it? They go for knight to f3, developing the knight. So far we are following standard opening theory here. I go for knight to c6 here, and just developing the knight here, pressuring some pawns. And here they play an inaccuracy, which is the move bishop to b5. Now this is inaccurate because you can pause the video to find out what's the best move for black here. This is a positionally winning move here. So you can pause the video. So if you've paused the video, the move is queen to a5 check. And at first, it looks like it wins a queen. After knight to c3, uh, which is what happens, knight takes c3, and this is what I calculated. So if they take, then I'm up a piece, right? This is exactly what happens in the game. But before we get there, let's see what happens. What is the best move for white in this position? For that one, you can pause again to find out what the best move here is. It's a Desperado. So you see, this knight is hanging, right? But you can't take it, and this bishop too. Like, we want to take the bishop, so white decides, okay, what do I trade my bishop first, right? Bishop takes c6, and this is a variation I calculated. After b takes c6, the only move here to not completely lose the game is queen to d2. If you go bishop to d2, then I can just take your queen, and then after takes, I'm just up a pawn and a piece, so that is losing. Queen to d2, and the idea is there's no more taking the queen over here, and the knight's pinned, so you can't actually save it. But after bishop to a6, e takes probably, or even takes, maybe e takes, but in this position or after the e takes, uh, takes, and then they can also take with the queen instead of the pawn. After takes, here black has a slight edge here. Let me just remove the annotation over there. Black has a slight edge over here because black has the bishop pair. Plus they have a better bishop here. Currently the king cannot castle. How we'll probably develop is put the bishop on g7, maybe long castle, put the rook on the e file or on the b file here. And what we're gonna do is try to open up the center, put the bishop on g7, and use our c and d pawns to open up this diagonal over here for a bishop. So black has an edge. The engine's even saying that black is a pawn now. So yeah, but they just took the b with the b pawn, allowing me to take. So now I'm just winning. They go for bishop to f4, developing their bishop, and here I go for bishop to f5, developing my bishop. They go for d5, just hanging a pawn, so I just take it. I mean, not hanging a pawn because they can take it two ways. Okay, so now I'm threatening knight to d3, and they have to take, right? But they play this move, knight to d4, which is just a blunder. Because after knight to d3 check, you have to put your king in a terrible position here. So the best one is king to f1. All right. Obviously, if they sacrifice the queen, then that's completely losing. So they have king to d2, which is what was played in the game. King to e2, which falls into knight takes f4, and finally, last move, king to f1. Now after king to f1 here, what I would just play is probably like queen to c4, strong move here, and you can't take the free piece because then after takes, we are back in equal material, but white is just completely losing here because of king's safety. If they go here, then this is a strong move, I think. I don't know. Yeah, this is possible, and if you go here, then I just take, or take this. I think taking this is better. And if you go here, and if you go here, then there's just knight takes. There's also this strong check, which forces the knight to go back, and then knight takes. Like, for example, this, and then takes. So you get the point. White, black is just having a very strong attack here. And this of material. They go king to d2, which falls to queen to b2 check, saving the queen. And then, for some reason, they offer a queen trade take, and then take with a knight, not attacking the bishop anymore, essentially saying that I can just take back. So, yeah, I'm just winning here. And the rest of this game was just me converting my advantage. They go knight d3, I go bishop d4, they go f3, I just take, rook a b1, and here I decide to long castle, developing the rook in the future, and also putting the king on the b8 square, and then putting the rooks on the c file, because I do notice that there is a weakness over here with the c3 pawn. They go for rook to b3, I go for g6, trying to activate my bishop. They go rook hb1, trying to pressure my pawn on the half open file. I should go rook to d7 to defend it, because anyway, somewhere in the future, after I go king to b8, I am planning to put both rooks on the c file anyway, so I might as well just play rook d7 for the future. They go rook to b5, attacking the knight, and here I just play knight to b6, closing off the b file. And they go for rook 5 b4, and here I go for d5, fixing this weakness over here on c3. And this is even better for me because my bishop's color is black, so it can go to the dark squares and just attack the pawns. I can also go e6 and develop the bishop to d6 even, but I think g7 is a better spot here to pressure their weakness. And they go rook c1, I go bishop to g7, they go a4, and then here I just put my rook on the d file, and eventually I think of the plan king to b8, and then rook c8, rook dc7, and then boom, we win the pawn in the future. They go f4, and here I decide to play e5. I mean, it it does isolate this pawn, but my reasoning was just maybe they won't take. And also, it opens up the e file for my pieces here, because I'm trying to open up the position. They don't take, and here I just go check, and then I make my first breakthrough in the position. Now I have a connected passed pawn. I can use this passed pawn to distract one of their pieces here, and then potentially win the pawn on c3. They go for rook to c1, I go for rook to c8, and here they go for rook to b3. I go rook dc7. They just shuffle their pieces back and forth because they don't know what to do. And here just go knight to d6, and I uncover the attack on the pawn. And then, why not put the knight on the f5 square? Right? Maybe I could go for a check, try to deflect the king off. They go for rook to c1. I give a check, and here I play h5 because I was worried, because I was a little annoyed at this g4 move, so I just decided to prevent it. They go for rook a3, and here I play d4, and you can't take because then your rook hangs. So And if you go here, then you're just giving me two connected passers, right? Even though they're blocked, these two passers will be strong. I'll put a rook on the e file and then the d file, and then start pushing the pawns. So this is a very strong initiative, and plus I'm just up two pieces here. So yeah, this is just completely winning. They go for king to e2 here. Basically just giving the pawn. So I just take it, take, and this is completely winning. And in a few moves they resigned. So they played king to d3. I decided to go bishop to d4, king c7, and then take g4, hg4. They just gave up a bunch of pawns and then they resigned. And yeah, this is just completely winning. So definitely would have been more interesting to see bishop to c6. This was kind of a boring one, but I'll take the free point. But bishop takes c6 was the only move here to at least not be completely losing. Just don't play bishop to b5 is one of their big blunders in this game, because after queen to a5, you will have to give up the bishop pair with bishop takes c6, and then bishop a6, which is a very strong idea here. Basically saying the king can't castle, and of course, if you try to castle here, which won't happen in like what 10 moves or something, then b file, and then the bishop can go here, and then we can take in the future and then open up things with g5. So yeah, and that this variation would have been pretty interesting to see, queen to d2, because if you take, then I will be up a pawn here, but maybe instead of taking here, I would probably consider bishop to a6 instead, not taking the pawn with check, but essentially saying this king won't castle, and I'm gonna play this game where the king is in the center, and I'm gonna try to set up for an attack. But obviously, just taking the pawn's better, but you know they can develop the bishop, and then like where does the queen go? Maybe queen. Oh yeah, queen to d3. I didn't see that in my calculations during playing this game. Cutting off the king. But um, wasn't really much to say other than they've blundered. I think after like they blundered the piece here, they were a little tilted. I'm not sure, but they played this weird move knight to d3 and just allowed a knight to d4 and just allowed knight to d3. So that is the end of the video, and bye.